What is up, guys? Welcome to another episode of the Positively Insane podcast. My name is Kevin. I will be your host and spirit guide for the foreseeable future. It's been a quick minute since I've done an episode, and obviously some things have changed. Obviously, we've got some... I am so out of practice, and I keep catching myself repeating words over and over and over again, and I've restarted this video probably 50 times. So I just have to buckle down. No paralysis through analysis. Just fucking do it, right? Just do the episode. Get it done. Perfectionism is not going to prevent us from being productive any longer. Hopefully. It's something we're working on, right? Anyway, so I am very much relaunching the podcast and upgrading the quality of the content, adding more elements to it, the video element. I've got a whole room set up now specifically just for this, my music, the podcast, YouTube, things of that nature. And I would say the room that I'm currently in is almost the size of the apartment that I lived in previously. I upgraded my apartment this year. I switched stores. A lot has happened for me in a good way this past year. As you can tell, I got some new music equipment. I got a lot going on, and I wanted to relaunch the podcast, get that up and running again, and I've got some serious goals set for myself over the next 5 years, all involving content, professional stuff, personal stuff, but they all tie together. All those goals come together to basically be one big mountain of a goal, and I'm super excited to share that with you, and that's essentially what this episode is about. It's about setting goals. And for this particular episode, I didn't dig too deep in the research. Like I said, I am working on a mindset episode, but I'm going deep with the research. Listen to audiobooks, taking notes. I've probably got 30 pages of notes in this notebook on mindset specifically. And for the most part, most of the episodes that I'm going to do, depending on what the topic is, whether it's mental health, mindset, procrastination, productivity, whatever it is, I want to do as much research as I can so I can be as informative as possible, and the content that I create will add value, hopefully, to your life. But this particular episode, I didn't dig too deep. This is just an introductory, just chit-chatting with you guys again, getting my mic chops back in order, because obviously it's been a while since I've been on the microphone, and I'm out of practice, a little bit rusty, but that's okay. This is super exciting. This is super fun, and I'm ready to get back at it. But back to the point of this particular episode, and that's setting goals. It's setting goals. Goals are so fucking important, and that's just the tip of the iceberg. We go deeper. Goals are the very beginning. We go deeper. There's systems. We'll talk more about that in other episodes. But basically, the productivity rabbit hole goes deeper than fuck. And goal setting is just the beginning. It's just the tip of it. I'm not going to say that's what she said, but that's what she said, right? Anyway, so goal setting is the very first baby step on the path of productivity. So for me, I've lived most of my life under the impression that I'm lazy, because I am lazy. I'll be honest. I can be very lazy, but that's not really the problem. That's not why I don't accomplish any of the goals that I have set for myself, or it's not why I haven't chased any of the dreams that I've had throughout my lifetime. Not because I'm lazy. It's because I procrastinate. And being lazy and procrastination are two different things that I have recently learned. They are two very different things. Laziness comes from a place of you don't give a fuck. You're just a sloth. You can't be bothered. You don't even want to be bothered. When you look around, everything looks like shit. Your life is in shambles. You don't give a fuck because you're lazy, and you just don't care. And the definition of laziness is not quite that. I'm sure I could Google it and be a little more precise, but you get the point. Procrastination, on the other hand, comes from a completely different place, especially when you have built these ideas up in your head. And procrastination tends to come from a place, a fear of failure. Laziness comes from a place of just not wanting to give a fuck. I don't care. I can't be bothered. I'm not going to put in the effort. So fuck it. Procrastination, on the other hand, comes from a place of fear. You're afraid of failure. And especially with the podcast and chasing my music, and I dream all these dreams like, oh, it would be so awesome to have a successful podcast, to have a successful YouTube channel, to launch a successful music project and release albums and maybe even go on tour and perform in front of people. But then when it comes to sitting down and accomplishing these goals, getting on the microphone, getting on video, getting on stage, recording, writing, and performing, then the fear of failure trickles in. And it's like, what if I'm not good enough? What if I don't live up to my own expectations, let alone the expectations of the people around me? What if I have overestimated my abilities and what I can accomplish in my dreams is nowhere even close to reality, right? And so that fear of failure sets in, and then it's like, all right, maybe I need to learn more, right? Maybe I have to wait. Maybe it's not ready. Maybe I'm not ready. The time's not right. Something. But at the end of the day, what it really boils down to is paralysis through analysis, just overthinking. Fucking overthinking. And the fear of failure is getting in the way, and it's preventing moving forward. I'm a bit of a perfectionist. I don't like to fuck things up. I don't like to leave things fucked up. That's why I restarted this video 50 fucking times before finally just like, you know what? If I fuck up, it is what it is. I'll do a little editing. We'll see what happens. And then we're just going to upload it and go from there. So that is something massive that I have very recently learned. Procrastination is not the same as laziness. Laziness is something that I have shamed myself over for most of my life. I remember all the way back to when I was a kid and my mom trying to get me to clean my fucking room, and she would very much remind me how lazy I was. And when I was a kid, it was laziness and procrastination because I just didn't want to do the thing I was supposed to do. It wasn't the fear of failure at the time, at least with the basic stuff, cleaning my room. There's no fear of failure there. It was just simply, I don't want to fucking do it. And so I was very, very lazy as a child. And that laziness carried over into my adulthood, but then it converted a little bit and it morphed. And there's still some laziness, on my day off. If I don't have to do something, I might not do it. I might lay around and just waste the entire day. But there's a guilt, right? There's a guilt that comes from that. If you sleep in too late, sleep in past noon, you don't get the things done that you wanted to get done. You don't do the laundry. You don't clean the apartment. You don't run the errands. You don't pay the rent. You don't do the shit that you don't do during the weekdays because you work and you don't want to occupy your valuable time before and after work running errands or doing chores. So you say, I'll do it on the weekend. And for me, I wouldn't do it. I would let that shit build up, especially if I didn't have 2 days off back to back. If I only had 1 day off here and then work a couple days, have another day off, I wouldn't do shit. Nothing. I would just sit around, watch TV, watch movies, whatever, smoke weed, just waste my entire day and call that self-care. Call that de-stressing, decompressing. That's me getting my brain ready to go back to work because, oh my God, work is just so terrible, right? For all of my 20s, I would seriously justify my laziness by saying I work a full-time job. I'm a grown-ass adult. I pay rent. I pay bills. I work. I come home. I shouldn't have to do anything else. I work 40 hours a week. You shouldn't. Nobody should be able to expect anything from me. I don't give a fuck who you are. I don't care if you're my romantic partner. You want me to do what? You want me to clean? You want me to work all day at the factory and then come home and clean? I don't want to fucking clean. No, thank you. I don't want to clean. I don't want to clean that toilet, especially. I don't want to do those fucking dishes. I don't want to do that fucking laundry. I don't want to take the goddamn garbage out. I don't want to. I don't care who you are. I don't want to. For years and years and years. Because of this, I wouldn't have people over because I didn't clean my apartment. I was too embarrassed. And I remember in my early 20s, my relationship, we were constantly fighting over cleaning the apartment. I would get upset if she would clean because then I would feel bad because it would make me feel lazy. And then She would get upset at me because I didn't want to clean, and it was just a big back and forth. And yeah, so I mean, laziness has been something I've struggled with my entire life. So has procrastination, and they sometimes go hand in hand, and they sometimes are two completely separate beasts. And when they do team up together, it is very difficult to get moving. It's very difficult to do anything other than the bare minimum to just get through the fucking day, especially when I work a job where mentally it's incredibly demanding. Physically, it's the easiest job I've ever done, but mentally, it's very demanding. So when I come home, I don't often want to think. But that's going to get me nowhere. It is totally fine to live like that. I'm happy. I have a good apartment. I have, decent things now. I've come a long way since I was homeless and on the streets in 2016. I've come a long way since being a homeless drug addict. I have a good life. It could be so much worse. When I take into consideration people living in third world countries in extreme poverty, I have a fucking good life. And I very much am grateful for what I have, but I'm not content with it. I have far too many grandiose ideas and dreams and goals, and I have too much potential and too much unutilized talent to just sit around and do nothing with it. And I think that goes for the vast majority of us. I think all of us have a hidden talent or something that we're good at or something that we could be passionate about if we had discovered, if we put ourselves out there and really explore and try on new things. But most of us don't. Most of us don't, and many of us, if not the vast majority of us, feel like that's for other people, that we aren't worthy of leveling up our lives, or maybe we're not capable of leveling up our lives. Maybe we've got what they call a fixed mindset as opposed to a growth mindset. We'll talk more about that on the mindset episode. But the point is, for me, I've got some major goals. And I find that these goals, setting these goals and working on them every single day keeps me focused and it helps keep me productive and keep me motivated. Because when I stagnate, when I sit around, when I don't get things done, when I tell myself I'm going to do a podcast on the weekend and I don't do it, when I tell myself I'm going to play guitar for 3 hours and I don't do it, when I tell myself I'm going to sit down and write a song and I don't do it, when I tell myself I'm going to do the laundry and I don't do it, or any of those things, when I tell myself I'm going to do something and I don't do it, I take that personally. It really bothers me, and I will get depressed about it, and it will mess with my mood for the day. It not just the day, it'll slowly eat at me until I finally get it done. And every day that goes by until I get it done, it'll make me feel worse and worse. And the funny thing is, just because it makes me feel worse doesn't mean that bad feeling motivates me to get it done any quicker. I will still procrastinate because of the fear of failure, or be lazy and not get the thing accomplished for whatever reason. And I'll be completely honest, in the name of 110% transparency, mostly just because it's legal now and I can't get fired for it, I like to participate in the edibles, the THC edibles. I like to spend some recreational time on Jupiter, but it's very difficult to be productive and stoned all the time. And that's what I would do. I would spend the vast majority of my personal time just higher than shit, watching Netflix, not getting anything done. I would tell myself, I got all these things I'm going to do. I'm going to record a podcast. I'm going to get a song done. I'm going to go for a nice walk. I'm going to get the laundry done. Going to clean up. Got 48 hours to get all this shit done. The things that I need to do for me to be happy, I'm going to get done instead of, working for somebody else getting their stuff done. And then I get home, eat a couple fucking gummies. That shit would kick in, and then I'm worthless for the rest of the day. And if it's a day off, if I get up in the morning, and sit down and, of course, eat a couple gummies first thing out the gate, I'm not getting shit done that day. Nothing. And I'm probably taking a nap. Midway through the day, and that nap is probably lasting 3 to 4 hours. And then when I wake up, I'm going to feel completely groggy, like I hit a brick wall, and I'm going to be depressed as fuck because I wasted the entire day, did nothing. Nothing. And I would do that for years. Years. Until this year. This year, I have decided enough's enough. I want to get shit accomplished. I want to get things done. I want to level up. I want to see what I can accomplish when I give myself everything I've got. I'm done holding myself back. I'm done capping myself at a 4 or a 5. I want to go to 10. I want to go to 11. I want to go to fucking 12. I want to see what Kevin can do when he is completely unharnessed. Chains are off. No self-capping. No, nothing. Not holding myself back. Not letting anybody else hold me back. Overcoming every fucking hurdle. Setting goals and getting those goals accomplished. And moving forward and being productive and being happy and being consistent and being successful and doing all the things that I want to do. Like I'll be, the goal that I have set for myself, it's a huge one. It's a big one. I want to be, no, I don't use weak words. We don't use weak words around here. Want is a weak word. I will be a millionaire by my 43rd birthday. I just had my 38th birthday, so I got 5 years. I got 5 years to make $1 million. And I genuinely believe I'm going to pull it off. I've got a pretty solid idea on how I'm going to get there. I've got the goal, and I've got a shit ton of baby goals between now and 5 years from now. But that is that's my top of the mountain goal. That's not my biggest mountain that I'm ever going to climb for the rest of my life. Right now, that's my biggest goal. It's my 5-year plan. I remember my entire life hearing about a 5-year plan. You got to have a 5-year plan. Every man's got to have a 5-year plan. Well, now this man has a 5-year plan. And the end of that plan, the end of that 5 years, I want to be a millionaire. I want to be able to have walked away from my day job, and I want to be making a living being a content creator and doing the things that I'm passionate about, whether it's a motivational speaker or as a motivational speaker, as a podcaster, as a musician, as a YouTuber, as them all together. And not just those, not just that. Those are just some. I also want to take, I want to build some revenue, accumulate some wealth, as you will, and make some targeted purchases. That's not the word. Tactical purchases. So there are 3 types of people, or not 3 types of people. There are 3 wealth brackets, as we'll say, as most people know. You got poor people, you got the middle class, and then you have rich people, the upper class. Poor people, they buy stuff, right? I would consider myself poor for an American, not the poorest. I'm not homeless anymore, but I would consider myself at the lowest bracket. Not poverty, but I'm certainly not middle class. And so the poor people, they buy stuff. They buy TVs, they buy computers, they buy guitars, they buy cars, they buy things that are going to depreciate with time. They're not going to help accumulate value. They're not going to help you accumulate wealth. It's going to deplete your wealth. And then middle class, they buy liabilities. Basically, they're building their lives on credit. So they're putting themselves in debt to get where they've gotten. Their liabilities are not helping them build wealth. It is putting them under a mountain of debt. And then rich people, wealthy people, they don't buy either of those. They buy assets, right? Assets. They take their money and then they buy revenue streams. They buy things that are going to make them more money. That's what I want to do. That's what I want to do. I want to quit buying stuff. I don't want to buy liabilities. I don't want to build a life out of debt. I don't want to spend the rest of my life paying off debt. I want to build wealth. I want to accumulate wealth. And I want to make targeted investments that are going to help me accumulate more wealth. I want to have passive income, whether it's car washes, vending machines. And this is just the beginning to get the income building. And then as the income comes in, we take that and again, make targeted investments. Find other ways to accumulate passive income. The more money I can make while using as little of my time as possible, while I'm still working full-time as a sales rep for Verizon, if I can start accumulating some passive income, get these various revenues of income, from as many different sources as possible until I can finally quit my job and do content creation full-time or motivational speaking full-time or whatever full-time, and then take that show on the road and branch out from there, still have that passive income, all those revenue streams of income while I am doing my thing, while I am building my, I don't know, little content empire, as you would. That's my big goal. My big goal, I want to be a millionaire within 5 years. I want to be able to walk away from my day job within 5 years. I want to be able to say my house is paid for, my car is paid for, my future is set. I want to work because work gives me purpose. I want to work because I love what I do, but I don't want to work because I have to pay bills. I don't want to worry about bills. I don't want to worry about car payments. I don't want to worry about house payments. I don't want to worry about the light bill. What I want to worry about is where I'm going on vacation next year, where I'm going on vacation next month. Well, what content am I going to create while I'm on vacation? What I want to worry about is how I get better at what I do and set myself up. I don't need to be baller wealthy. I don't. Jeff Bezos disgusts me. People who have accumulated that much wealth gross me out. I don't need to be that wealthy. I want to be just wealthy enough to never have to worry about working again for somebody else. And then I want to take whatever I get extra and do something positive with it. Put it back into the community. Do something to help enrich other people's lives, because you can't take it with you, right? What the fuck does Jeff Bezos need $50 billion for? What is he doing with it? Who cares about fucking rocket ships right now? We got people dying. We got diseases to cure, whatever. We got water to clean. We got fucking schools to build, farms to plant. We got things to do right here at home. And that's what I want. I want to do something with myself. I want to be able to make a difference in the lives of the people around me, in the lives of the people in my community, in the lives of the people who follow the content that I create. And it all starts with goals, right? With setting goals, with figuring out what it is that you want to do with your life, with not even just with your life. That's too big of a goal. Figure out what you're passionate about. Figure out what you're good at. Figure out what you're interested in, and then decide what it is that you. Let me start over. So goal setting can be tiny and it can be massive, and I feel like everybody should have one big goal, right? Should all have one big goal and then a bunch of little goals to get to the big one. And now for me, I'm always thinking about this. I am always thinking about ideas, goals, daydreaming about the future, fantasizing about what I would do with $1 million, what I would do with this, all kinds of stuff. I'm always thinking about these things. For most of my life, I have known that I want something more than just the average run-of-the-mill life. Like, I want to do something more than just wake up, go to work, come home, have a family, and that's it. Like, I want to leave something behind, some kind of legacy. I don't know what, but something that people can, 20 years after I die, look back at what I left behind and be like, hey, he was a human being that was here, and this is what he did with his time, and he helped touch people, he helped inspire people, helped motivate people, and the world is a slightly better place because of the legacy he left behind. That's I guess that's my life goal, my legacy goal. And so do some thinking. Like, what I feel like most of us, if we're working a job that we hate, fast food, retail, corporate gigs, whatever the fuck, most of us hate our jobs. I feel like if we're doing something we hate, we've probably spent some time thinking about what it would be like to do what we love for a living. But I don't know, maybe for many people, at least for me, I had a really hard time figuring out how I can take what I'm passionate about and make money out of it. How the fuck do you make money out of talking about mindset and podcasts and shit like that? And now all of a sudden, 15 years later, people are doing that exact same thing, taking the things that I wanted to do and making a living out of it by doing podcasts and YouTube or or doing motivational speeches or whatever. They found a way to take what they love and provide value for other people, and they see the value in it and they're willing to pay for it, or they found a way to make money doing it. And if they can do it, then I can do it. And if I can do it, you can do it. I haven't done it yet, but I'm working on it. Excuse me. So, goals. What are your goals? Do you have a goal? Maybe you don't have a 5-year goal, but do you have a goal for the day? Maybe start there. Every day should have a goal. You should have a highlight. It shouldn't be, I'm not saying you should only get one thing a day accomplished, but imagine, I apologize for that, I'm hitting the microphone here. You should obviously get more than just one thing a day accomplished. But if you make sure to get at least one important thing done every day for an entire year, then you've probably gotten way more accomplished than you would have otherwise, with your old system. Every day should have a highlight. What is your highlight for the day? The number one thing that you have to get accomplished for that day, so you don't go to bed feeling guilty. You don't wake up the next day, guilt tripping yourself and starting that day with the baggage of unfinished goals from the day before. So every day you should have one thing, at least one daily highlight. For me, what I've been doing now when I wake up in the morning, I've been writing a few things down, 3 things I'm grateful for, and I'll talk more about that and why on another episode. And then I've been writing, 3 to 5 goals that I want to get done for the day, just tasks. Whether it's doing the laundry, taking the garbage out, setting up a savings account, or recording a podcast episode, whatever it is. I got 3 to 5 things, and then there's one thing that I put a little star next to, that it is, no matter what, no matter how bad the day is, no matter how busy I get, or tired I am, or whatever, that one fucking thing will get done before I go to bed. And then I can cross that off the list, and then the next day, start the process over again. And then, so I'm doing journaling in the morning, writing 3 things I'm grateful for. I really got to stop hitting the table here. I don't know if you guys can hear that, but I can hear it loud in the headphones here. 3 things I'm grateful for, 3 to 5 goals that I want to get done for the day. And then I'll jot down some thoughts that I've had in the morning, and then I'll journal at night again before bed. Again, I'll write down 3 things that I'm grateful for, preferably 3 different things. I'll write down the goals I got accomplished, and then some notes for the day or some thoughts for the day, whatever it was. Every day I'm doing that. In the morning, 5 minutes tops. At night, 5 minutes tops. So about 5 to 10 minutes a day of journaling and just putting these thoughts onto paper. What I'm grateful for every day, twice a day, and goals that I want to get accomplished every day, twice a day, and then just a brief overview of the day, things that happened to me, how I felt, how I reacted to them, etc., etc. So the reason why I write down these goals every single day is one very huge, obvious reason, at least to anybody who has done research on goals anyway, is when you write down a goal, you are 42% more likely to accomplish it just by writing it down. That's 42% more likely to accomplish your goal, whatever it is, just by writing it down. And then that percentage gets even higher when you put that goal somewhere where you can see it every day. Every single day. Maybe you leave it by the mirror in the bathroom, or you leave it by the front door, so when you leave to go to work every day, you see your list of goals. Or maybe you put it by your bedroom door, so before you go to bed or something. Wherever you put it on your office wall, somewhere where you're going to see it every day, preferably at eye level, preferably in a place that you spend a lot of time. So when you are sitting around procrastinating or wasting time or just dicking off, and you do catch out the corner of your eye that paper with your goals that you've set, you're going to make that thought. You're going to have that thought, and you're going to have to make that decision. Do I accomplish the goal? Do I cross it off? Or do I let myself down again? And that's honestly how I look at it. When you write down a goal on paper, you're making a verbal commitment to yourself to get it done. And what a lot of us don't do is follow through on the commitments we make to ourselves, because we view ourselves and the commitments we make for us differently than the commitments we make for other people. For some reason, most of us are more likely to follow through on things that we commit to somebody else. You say, yes, I'll do that thing at that time. Or yes, I will meet you at that place. Or yes, we'll get together and we'll do the whatever it is. For some reason, we're less likely to follow through on the commitments we make to ourselves, as if letting ourselves down is somehow not as bad as letting somebody else down. And in my opinion, I think it's worse. It's worse because when you let yourself down, when you don't follow through on the things you said you would do, you're pretty much, imagine how you would feel if somebody else did that to you. You know, if one of your people in your lives, whether it's a friend or family, somebody you care about a lot, you really enjoy spending time with, you love doing things with them, and every time they make a commitment, they flake. Every time. Or, you know, they're hit or miss. But for the vast majority of the time, they just don't follow through. They make you feel like shit about yourself. They make you feel like they don't want to spend time with you. They don't want to do these things. That they don't value you as a person because they don't care about letting you down or flaking out on the commitments they made with you. It makes you feel like shit. Nobody likes being flaked on. Nobody. So why do we flake on ourselves? Why are we okay with that? That's something that has stumped me for a long time. Why are we okay letting ourselves down? Why are we okay lying to ourselves? Because that's at the end of the day what we're really doing, isn't it? When you tell yourself, I'm going to do that. I'm going to get that done. I'm even going to write it down on a piece of paper. That's how committed I am to it. I'm going to put it on the wall so I have to see it every day. And then I'm not going to fucking do it. Why? Why? Why is it okay to let ourselves down? Why is it okay to lie to ourselves about things we have no intention on actually doing? We'll tell ourselves we'll do it, so then that little voice in the back of our brain quits chirping away and griping at us, and then we just don't do it. When the time comes to get it done, we just don't do it because it's us. Who cares? It's us. We'll get around to it eventually, right? But then we don't. At the end of the day, when we let ourselves down, when we lie to ourselves, when we don't follow through on our own goals, that's a bigger betrayal than when anybody else does it to us. Because it affects us far more than when other people do it to us. Nobody else can accomplish our goals for us. If we want to improve on ourselves, if we want to better our lives, if we want to feel just better, you know, most of the times, if we feel compelled to write goals down on a piece of paper, it's because we have put it off for so long that it's a problem. That's a serious problem. And we have to find ways. We're looking for ways to get it done because somehow we have figured in our mind that the task is just impossible. It's too hard to get going because we keep putting it off. We keep procrastinating. We keep avoiding it. And it gets harder and harder to get up and get the damn thing done the longer we put it off. And then until finally, one day, we're just like, enough is enough. And we do the fucking thing, and it takes, 15 minutes? You ever find yourself avoiding a task that took no more than 5 minutes? I have. I can't tell you how many times I have dropped something. Not so much lately, but in the past, especially in my old apartment, when I didn't respect the apartment. It was a piece of shit. It was a shithole apartment. It really was. It was a dump. It was a dump. It was the cheapest place I could find, right out of being homeless. It was a garbage can studio apartment, essentially. And I didn't care about my environment. I didn't care about the surroundings. The apartment was shit when I moved in. The apartment was shit when I moved out, and I pretty much treated it like it was shit the entire time I was there, and it fucked with my mental health a lot. I lived in that apartment for 5 years, no sunlight, just a tiny little fucking prison cell of an apartment with just me and my cat, and I basically treated it like a dumpster. And it sucked. It was not conducive to my mental health, and I can't tell you how many times something would be on the ground, and I'd just avoid picking it up. Just one fucking thing, a piece of garbage, whatever it is, just sitting there, tormenting me, and I just wouldn't pick it up. Just walk past it every time, and then that would grow. It would grow. until my apartment was basically a physical manifestation of the clutter in my brain. It was just there's no polite way of putting it. It was basically like an episode of Hoarders. I had pathways. Pathway to my bed, a pathway to the bathroom, and a pathway to the door. And then everything else was garbage. Like up to the knees or higher in some places. It was so bad that it would take days, sometimes 2 or 3 full days to clean a studio apartment by myself. We're talking maybe once, maybe twice, I'd clean my apartment a year. And think about that. I want you to really think about that. This is an apartment, and now I'm treating this place like a garbage can, right? And I'm only cleaning the apartment maybe once a year. That goes for everything. Think about that. Really, I'm not showing you pictures. I've got pictures. I'm not uploading it. It's gross. I'm embarrassed. I don't really even like talking about it, but I think I have to. I think there are people out there who will find value in the fact that we're all human beings, right? Just because we find ourselves in a situation like that doesn't mean we can't get out of it. Doesn't mean we can't get better. Doesn't mean we can't move on. Doesn't mean we can't improve, right? But think about that. You treat your apartment like a fucking garbage can. Literally, like a fucking garbage can. And you only clean it once a year. That includes everything. That includes the bathroom, the toilet, the sinks, the dishes, the bathtub, the carpet. All of it. Dirty, gross, not healthy, not conducive to a good mental health, not conducive to even good physical health. Mice, lots of mice, mouse droppings, a lot of cat pee on that carpet before I even moved in, and that didn't get any better with my cat, because as you can guess, I probably was not changing the litter box as often as I should have been. I was not a very good pet dad to my cat, and I used to feel really bad about that, and it used to be something that would fuck with my mental health big time. It would weigh on me big time. I am in a much better place now, much better place, and my cat is so fucking spoiled, it's ridiculous. We're both much fucking better, much happier, much healthier. And the only reason I'm talking about this is because it all started with avoidance of getting the shit done, right? And I did this for years, and it fucked with me big time. And I would drink a lot, smoke a shit ton of weed, eating them goddamn gummies, and just feeling sorry for myself, right? Until I started setting goals. I started setting goals at work and started accomplishing those fucking goals. And that motivated the fuck out of me to start setting goals outside of work. Because if you can do it at work, you can do it anywhere else. If you can take this lesson and learn something and accomplish something in one spot, you can take that lesson and utilize it in other realms of your life, which is one of the reasons why I love the company that I work for so fucking much, because I have learned so many things throughout the sales process, throughout the last 4 years, becoming, the best sales rep I could be, working as a cell phone salesperson for Verizon. I've learned a lot about setting goals, about accountability, about adaptability, about being driven, about being trustworthy, about being dependable, all of these things, about setting goals, about creating a plan of action, and then measuring your success so you can see where you're at along the way. I've learned a lot, and I've been able to take those things and incorporate them in my actual personal life. So now, my apartment is fucking pristine. I keep that shit cleaner than fuck. I vacuum every goddamn day. I take the garbage out every goddamn day. I clean my kitchen every day. I clean my bathroom every fucking week. I make my bed every day. My apartment right now, anybody could show up at any given time, and I wouldn't be embarrassed to open the door. And there was a time where I wouldn't ever let anybody in. And if somebody knocked on my door, I would intentionally ignore it. I'm not opening that fucking door. As soon as I open the door, you're going to see the year's worth of garbage piled up behind me. I'm not fucking doing it. I'm going to pretend like I'm not here. I don't care if you hear me snoring when you start knocking. I'm not answering. It's not happening. Nobody is going to see the fucking mess I live in. And that apartment I lived in, it was not just physically toxic being there, but it was emotionally toxic. It was mentally toxic. It was my depression physically manifested into the shithole surroundings that I was living in. And then those shithole surroundings infected my mindset and just it seeped out and seeped. It was just a cycle of infection, just a sick miasma. It would come out of me, infect my surroundings, and then that disgusting shit would infect me into just a never-ending vicious pattern. And even when I cleaned that fucking apartment, no matter how much I cleaned it, that carpet always looked like shit. It was always stained up from the second I got there. Those cupboards were broken from the day I moved in. It didn't matter how clean it was. You're cleaning a shithole. You're cleaning a garbage can. You're cleaning a fucking dumpster and basically saying, oh, hey, you know, the dumpster's clean, and trying to pretend like you don't live in a fucking dumpster, but you're still in a goddamn fucking dumpster. And everybody in the surrounding dumpsters are all drug addicts, and it's just not a good place to live if you want to be happy and mentally healthy. And so I started focusing on those goals, getting goals accomplished at work, getting goals accomplished at home. Started finding daily tasks to occupy myself with, even something small, at least one fucking thing. Even if it's just one bag of garbage. I've got an entire apartment full of fucking shit. Just one bag of garbage. Take that to the dumpster every fucking day. And that's what I did. Finally, enough was enough. I wasn't going to take the time to spend 2 or 3 days, 2 or 3 full days breaking it down and cleaning, so I did one garbage bag a day. One fucking bag a day. I can't remember how long it took. A couple weeks, 2 or 3 weeks. Finally got it all out. And then once I could see the floor again, I was motivated to fucking sweep and vacuum and clean the rest of the shit. And then after that, I looked around and I was like, you know what? I clean this place once a year. And every time when I get done, I feel better for a day. And then I remember I live in a fucking dumpster. So I moved out of the fucking dumpster. It took me 5 years to finally pull my head out of my ass, but I did. Moved 30 miles away, transferred stores, still working for the same company, upgraded to a much better apartment, upgraded my gear, upgraded a lot of things because of these goals, the setting of the goals, working on the goals, getting the goals accomplished. And there's a process for this that I learned through work that you can find online. I'm sure there's pretty much every productivity book out there probably talks about this, but it's called setting SMART goals. SMART is an acronym, and it stands for specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and time-based. And this is one of the things, again, that I learned at work. We have these things called one-to-ones and L10s. And our one-to-ones, you'll have a sit-down with your store leader, and it's just an hour that you guys talk about professional progress, personal progress, where you're at as far as your numbers, where you want to be, and setting goals. Where do you want to be 2 weeks from now, a month from now, et cetera, et cetera. And setting these SMART goals, specific goal. So instead of saying, I want $1 million in 5 years, we're going to set a specific goal. How do I accomplish that? What's the first step to getting $1 million in 5 years? And we'll just say, as an example, maybe that first step is making an investment or creating a successful podcast or a successful YouTube channel. So you've got an audience. And then once you've got an audience, you have a market that you can sell a product to or whatever. So you get your goal and you narrow it down, make it as specific and narrow as possible. And then you make it measurable. How do you measure the progress of that? So you take your goal and say, I want to make $250,000. We'll make it a little bit smaller, $250,000 in 2 years. Well, that's pretty easy to measure. So I'll take a look at my savings, whatever I've got every couple of months. I'll see where I'm at. What do I have to invest? What am I making on my investment returns? Am I making any asset purchases? Things of that nature. I can make measurements along the way to determine the health of my goal. Is it healthy? Is it stagnating? Is it dying? Am I on track? Things of that nature. You've got to be able to keep it measurable. If you can't measure your progress, you don't know how far you are from your goal. You got to be able to measure. And then the A stands for attainable. Make sure you can reasonably accomplish your goal within a certain time frame. So $1 million within 5 years is a pretty fucking massive goal, if I'm being honest. So a SMART goal, the A in SMART, let's set something attainable. So let's set a smaller goal for this first year, right? I want to hit 1,000 subscribers on my YouTube channel, because I believe that's once you hit 1,000 subscribers, you can sign up for monetization. So 1,000 subscribers, that is super attainable. I just have to be consistent with my content, keep making content, keep getting better, keep releasing it every week, stay consistent with it, get 1,000 subscribers, monetize my channel, and then grow from there. That's attainable. That's super attainable. And then you can make another step and another step and another step until you hit your 5-year goal. The R in SMART stands for relevant. Your goals should align with your values and long-term objectives. So how relevant is your goal to your overall big picture? I want to make $1 million within 5 years. So how relevant is this 1,000 YouTube subscribers to that goal? I would say it's pretty relevant because, like I already said, once I get 1,000 subscribes, I can monetize. Once I monetize, I can start getting AdSense revenue. My audience is likely to start building a little bit faster from there because I've probably gotten about a year's worth of material, content released. I've got a back catalog. Get that AdSense revenue going. Amp it up a little bit, add a little gas. Make sure I'm branching out into a few different areas through social media. Really doing everything that I can to add some fuel to that fire. So I would say it is super relevant because once that audience is there, I have other options. I've got merchandise that I can toss out there. We can look at donations. People are always getting donations. On fucking Patreon or what the fuck is that one? Buy me a cup of coffee or some shit. People are always talking about if you want to help support the channel or whatever. But I don't like just straight up donations. I don't want to just ask for money. I want to provide you with something, whether it's an energy drink, or a hoodie, or a sticker, or something. Some sort of product that you can hold in your hand, but then also support the channel and get something in return. Things of that nature. So there are other options there. There are other revenues you can take once you've reached that goal. So I would say that's super relevant. You want to make sure that whatever SMART goal you are setting, it is relevant to your goals, your values, and the overall big picture. And then the last one is time-based. Set a realistic, ambitious end date for task prioritization and motivation. So you need a bit of a deadline. You can't set it too far out. So that's why I said for me, I want $1 million within 5 years. That's 5 years out. 5 years seems like a long time, but not really. Not really. When you've got a shit ton of stuff to do between now and $1 million. Right now, I do not have $1 million. I got maybe $1,000 in my savings account after everything else is said and done. So I got a long way to go to $1 million. So it's got to be time-based. My big goal is 5 years off. My 1,000 subscriber goal, let's say, is a year off. By this time next year, I want a minimum of 1,000 subscribers. That goal is a little bit lower than I probably typically would have set it for, but with YouTube, I am pretty much a noob. I honestly am learning, watching videos every day, learning, trying to figure out the algorithm, trying to figure out tactics to be as strategic as possible with my content and how to formulate and put together the episodes and streamline and keep people engaged, keep people watching, things of that nature. I've got a lot to learn. So let's just say 1,000 subs 1 year from now. That sounds to me, with the knowledge that I have right now, that sounds relevant, sounds attainable, sounds time-based, sounds measurable, and it's specific. It's all of those fucking things. So that is a SMART goal. That is one SMART goal and a long list of other SMART goals that's going to get me to the big picture goal. And I can't tell you how much of an impact SMART goals has made on me professionally and personally. This is a big thing. Like I said, one of one of the things that I love about the company that I work for is I'm learning valuable things that I can take with me, valuable life lessons that I can take with me. When I applied for the job, we sat down and I interviewed and we talked about core values. And the company I work for has 5 core values. And if I remember them correctly, it is trustworthy, accountable, adaptable, driven, and helpful. And those 5 core values were things that I didn't have in my life at the time. I didn't feel like I exhibited those core values on a regular basis. I didn't feel like the people in my life really upheld those core values on a regular basis. And those values were things that I wanted in my life. Those 5 core values, trustworthy, driven, helpful, accountable, and adaptable, those were all things that I wanted to be, and those are all things that I wanted. Those are all traits that I wanted the people I surrounded myself to have. And as soon as I saw those core values, I was like, yes, that's what I want in my life. And that's what I need, not just for a career or a job, but completely in my entire life. I want those core values everywhere. And I'm learning so many things over the years that I'm with this company, things like SMART goals and those core values, and just how to be a part of a strong team, and how to be a coach and a team leader, and how to get out of your comfort zone and how to adapt and improve. And it's a great company, and I'm learning a lot of things, and I've been pretty successful and continue to grow. But at the end of the day, it's a day job. It's not what I'm passionate about. What I'm passionate about is this. I want to be a motivational speaker. I want to write books. I want to make music. I want to do podcasts. I want to do YouTube. I want to play in front of people. There's so many things I want to do. I want to work all day long on these things, but I want to be working for myself. That's it. I want to be working for myself. And it all comes from getting goals accomplished. And getting your goals accomplished are way easier when you have a plan. And writing them down is the first thing. And again, I can't tell you how important that is. 42%. 42%. Can you think of anything else? Can you think of anything else that'll give you a 42% increase by doing something as simple as writing a goal down? I can't think of anything. What the fuck else can give you a 42% return, or a potential return on something as simple as writing a goal down? And it doesn't matter. You get to set that goal, whether it's take the garbage out or make $1 million. No matter what goal you set, you're 42% more likely to take the garbage out, and you're 42% more likely to make $1 million. So that's where you start coming up with better goals that are going to enrich your life, goals that are going to benefit you, that are going to help you evolve and grow and get smarter and set yourself up and make it so you don't have to stress out so much about how you're going to fucking cover car expenses if your motor blows up, or how you're going to pay rent if you get COVID and you can't work for 2 weeks or some shit. We are all on a fucking hamster wheel, right? We're all on a goddamn hamster wheel, and most of us feel like it's impossible to get off that hamster wheel. But at the same time, we look around and we see these other people, these multimillionaires who somehow figured out a way. They cracked the code. They figured out, they managed to see the matrix, and they could just boom, overnight success or whatever. Maybe it's an overnight success from your perspective, but from their perspective, they've been working on that fucking success for the last 15 years, grinding every goddamn day so they could all of a sudden become an overnight success in your eyes. 42% more likely to accomplish any goal that you consistently write down. Any goal. You decide, what do you want to manifest? What do you want to manifest? Do you want to manifest a new house, a new car, a new career, a new hobby? A new mindset? A new perspective, a way of looking at life? You get to decide what you accomplish, and simply by writing it down efficiently and effectively and regularly and putting it somewhere where you can see it, you are a minimum of 42% more likely to accomplish it. And that increases again when you put it somewhere you can see it every single day. And then on top of that, you can double down, you can compound your likelihood and increase that percentage by then taking your goal that you've written it down and you've put it on the wall, and then you tell the people that are closest to you, your closest friends, your closest family, the people you trust and care about, the people whose opinions matter the most to you. You tell them that you're accomplishing these goals, or you tell them that that is your goal. You put it out there. You've written it down, you put it on the wall, and now you have put it into the world. You've put it out there, and you have to manifest it. Now you have to get it accomplished because you've got all these things. You've written down, you've got it on the wall, so if you don't accomplish it, you've let yourself down, which we've already discussed is the biggest and worst betrayal that you could possibly do to yourself. And now, not only are you going to let yourself down, but you're going to let the other people that you told down about it. And I personally like to tell the other people around me about the goals that I'm going to try to accomplish, because I am hoping that they will ask me about it. 2 months from now, hey, what about that? How are you working on that $1 million, huh? Or did you get that podcast episode done, or whatever? And the reason why I tell them these things is because if they do ask me about it a month from now or 2 months from now, it's gonna crank that twist that knife just a little bit. It's gonna stab it right in the heart and twist it a little bit, because I will know in the back of my brain I'm not getting the goal done. I'm not getting it accomplished. I'm procrastinating. I'm being lazy. I didn't get that episode done. And so them saying it out loud again is reminding me, God damn it, I said I was going to do that, didn't I? I'm going to fucking do it. It's still on the wall every day staring me down. I'm letting myself down. But now you were fucking reminded me that I told you about it too. And so yes, I got to get that done. Or if I have accomplished it and they do ask me about it, then I get that dopamine hit. You goddamn fucking right, I got that done. You want to check it out? Here's a link to the YouTube video, or here's a link to the song, or whatever it is. Yes, I got it done. Here's a picture of the thing, or whatever. I'm on my way to getting that goal accomplished. It is so fun. It feels so good to be able to tell somebody, yes, I'm getting it done. I'm doing it. Yes, I got that shit done. Like, it's exciting to share that. Now, not everybody has people that they want to tell their goals to. That's totally okay. You don't have to tell people. All you really have to do is write it down and put it somewhere you're going to see it every day. Most important thing is not to let yourself down. So just keep that in mind. I don't know how long this is running. I don't think OBS tells me. I guess we're coming up on about an hour. This is perfect. About an hour. All right. Gonna wrap this up here, and then I'm gonna listen to it and hopefully feel like it's good enough to put out there for you guys. And I'm super excited. So like I said, I'm working hard on a mindset episode. We are coming up on winter now. We're balls deep into fall, and it's almost November. It's getting colder outside. The days are getting shorter. The sun's not coming out as much, and so seasonal affective disorder, I believe, is what it's called, also known as SAD, is a very big thing that many people face every year. I'm one of them, especially living in Minnesota. I grew up bouncing back and forth between Minnesota and Portland, Oregon. Neither places get a lot of sunlight in the winter, and this time of year the days are short, the sun doesn't come out much. It's hard to stay inspired. It's hard to stay motivated. It's hard to stay in a good mindset. For me, for many years, this time of year would always it would just slow me down. I would get depressed. It's like getting in quicksand here. Right about the end of November or the end of October, beginning of November, as it's getting colder, the snow's starting to fly. Can't go outside as much. Can't go on walks. You don't get as much sunlight. Spend more of your time confined indoors. It's difficult to stay positive, and it's difficult to stay motivated, and it's hard to want to work on things outside of whatever your job is. When you get home, you just want to relax, watch TV, whatever. So that's why I wanted to make the next episode about mindset. Just really go big in it, because for me, since I've learned to really tackle my mindset, rewire it, and break it down and rebuild it into something stronger, more powerful, more unbreakable, I've been working on building a championship mindset the last couple of years. Not just a championship mindset, because I feel like once a champion becomes a champion and then they retire, that mindset degrades, and then they 20 years after retirement, they don't look like the champion they once were. So I want to build a championship mindset and then lock that fucker in. So there's no getting the gold medal and then retiring. There's no becoming heavyweight champ of the world and then retiring. You become heavyweight champ and you fucking stay heavyweight champ until the day you fucking die. Period. And that is the type of mindset that I am trying to build. I want to build a mindset where no matter what life throws at me, no matter fucking how hard it gets, I don't care who dies or what disease I get or what fucking happens to the people or the world around me, I will not quit. I will not give up. I will not let life defeat me. I don't give a fuck how close I am to the end, to giving up. I'm right there on the edge. I'll get there. And that little voice in the back of my brain will say, not today, motherfucker. Not today. Not today, motherfucker. Unbreakable. That's what I want. That's what I'm trying to build. And so I want to try to help the people around me reinforce their mindset, because coming into this time of year, it's difficult. And if you can reinforce your mindset, find something to stay occupied with, get yourself a hobby, get yourself a goal, find something, build some momentum to carry you through winter. That's what I try to do. I love New Year's resolutions because it's about setting goals, right? But I hate New Year's resolutions because it's about setting goals at the beginning of the year and that's it. So for me, I have taken my New Year's resolutions and I have pushed them forward by about 3 months. So instead of waiting until January to start setting goals for the year, I start doing it in September and October. I start ramping up momentum in September and October. So by the time the snow flies, by the time Thanksgiving and Christmas gets here, I'm fucking moving along at a pretty good clip, mentally, emotionally, physically, with everything I'm working on at work, personally, all that stuff. I've got momentum. And then come wintertime, as things slow down in the sales industry at work, and as it gets cold as shit and nobody's doing anything, I've got that momentum to carry me through January and February and through the toughest part of the winter until spring is right around the corner. And that's what I every year I'm getting better and better at it. And it's at a point now where I don't hate winter anymore. It doesn't fuck with my mental state anymore. It doesn't fuck with my mental health anymore. And I actually look forward to the changing of the seasons. A big part of it is having a car now, so I don't have to walk, everywhere in the winter in 20, 30 below, walking an hour and a half to Walmart, carrying your groceries an hour and a half back. That fucking sucked. And it also didn't help with the mental health. But it's just many moving parts all come together to get to a point where now seasonal affective disorder doesn't bother me as much as it used to. There's a lot of stuff that I do to reinforce my mental health, to get that momentum going, and to stay feeling good. And we will definitely talk about that in the next episode. I just wanted to throw a little bit of that out there so you know what to look forward to. And I am so excited to get this thing going again, guys. And I appreciate your patience while I get my chops back, while I work off the rust here. Like I said, it's been a while since I've been on the microphone, and this is honestly the first time I've ever done this on camera. And it feels pretty natural. It feels organic. I tried this about 10 years ago, and I just couldn't do it. I could not do this thing in front of the camera. So I'm super excited to see that it's coming a lot more naturally than it once was. The camera quality will improve. I'm not going to focus on that too much. The more research I do, the more I realize building a successful YouTube channel, a successful podcast is less about the quality of the gear you have and more about the quality of the content you have. I've seen some super expensive looking channels have pretty shitty content, and they're pretty boring. And I've had some really plain, boring looking setups have like super popular content. One of my favorite YouTube channels, More Plates, More Dates, that is like the most boring setup ever. Yeah, I think behind Derek, he's literally got, what was it? I grew up in a trailer. What is that faux wood siding. He's got that shit behind him, and like part of an air conditioner. This is the most boring background ever. It's just his face, and he's talking about working out and steroids and energy drinks and fucking science. And he's got a super popular show. Like, he's successful. I'm pretty positive he's like a millionaire. And he's got his own supplements. He's got all kinds of stuff that he's got, and he's doing really good at it. And when you watch his videos, visually, it's the fucking most boring thing I've ever seen in my life, and he's being successful with it. So it's not about the quality of the gear, how expensive your camera is, how fucking quiet your computer is. I can hear that shit in the background. I don't know if you guys can, but I can hear it back there. It's not about how interesting your fucking backdrop is. It's about the quality of your content, how sincere you are, how genuine you are, how authentic you are, and how authentic is really the word. Authentic, how authentic you are, how people can tell right out the gate if what you're talking about isn't something that you genuinely give a fuck about. And if you're not authentic, if you're not talking about something from the heart, people aren't going to pay attention. And so, like I said, the camera quality will improve eventually. But for the most part, I'm happy with this. The lighting's not so terrible that you got too many crazy shadows. I do have a light set up, got a decent camera, great computer, great room. I'm stoked, guys. I'm fucking stoked. But I don't want to just sit here and ramble about how stoked I am. Yeah. Thank you. I don't have a lot of people watching or listening at the moment, but for those of you who are, you've been with me from the beginning or from close to the beginning. And as of right now, end of October 2022, if you are watching or listening to this, I just want to say I love you. Thank you for being with me. You're probably one of my close friends or family members, and I just appreciate you for being there through this process. And I hope you are as excited as I am to see where I take it and to see what we can put together. Get fucking hyped, guys. That's it. That's all I've got to say. I love you from the bottom of my heart. I am very much looking forward to the mindset episode. That's one of the things that I am always thinking about, and I'm very excited to talk about it with you guys. And it's going to be the first of many on mindset, and this is just the very first on many about setting goals as well. This is, like I said, just the tip, baby. This is just the tip. We got a lot more to go. Anyway, that being said, and yes, I am overcompensating. I love you, and I'll see you on the flip side. Take care of yourself, and yeah, man. Get a goal, write it down, put it on the wall, and get that fucker accomplished. And remember, SMART goals: specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and time-based. Get it done. Peace. I love you. Tell the people you care about that you care about them, and tell them you love them, and be grateful for what you have in your life, because I promise you, you could have less. You could always have less. Take it easy. Peace.